Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, November 7th. A lot of interesting weather to talk about, not only here in the short term, but in the longer term. It looks like a very chilly air mass for this time of the year will move into the Midwest by the middle of next week and spread on eastward to the East Coast by the middle and latter part of next week. At the same time, there are signs for a potential storm to develop, and it could even produce the first accumulating snows in parts of the Mid-Atlantic region. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. First, in the short term, we have a cold frontal system to deal with in the eastern states. Here's the latest radar loop from the Penn State EWAL site. A solid band of showers up and down the eastern seaboard here as the cold frontal system presses towards the east coast. This band of showers is tending to weaken as it approaches the I-95 corridor. Nonetheless, it looks like showers are quite likely in D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City during the latter part of the morning into the early part of the afternoon, roughly between about 9 a.m. and 1 or 2 p.m. It looks like there can be showers up and down the I-95 corridor. Certainly nothing on the significant side. In fact, this frontal system keeps on moving from west to east. It does not stall out along the coast. It moves off the east coast, and there could even be some clearing skies from the west to the east at the end of the afternoon. Certainly overnight tonight we'll see some clearing skies, and it'll turn colder. Tomorrow looks like a windy and cold day here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Well, let's take a look at the current surface map, and here is the surface cold frontal system cutting right through the northwestern part of Pennsylvania all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. It's really the main feature on the map today. Again, there are some showers associated with this front. They'll move into the I-95 corridor shortly between about 9 a.m. and 1 or 2 p.m. It looks like showers will be likely, not a heavy rain event. That pulls off the east coast. Winds increase overnight tonight, especially noticeable tomorrow. It'll be a windy, cold day, well below normal for this time of the year. Highs not far from 50 degrees in the Philly metro region, for example. Normal highs are still way up in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees, and it'll be even cooler with the wind involved, as wind chills will be even lower than the actual air temperature. That chill will remain this weekend. In fact, a couple of reinforcing cool fronts move through the Mid-Atlantic region. The winds will kick up again on Sunday, and it stays chilly right into the early part of next week. Well, let's now focus in on a very interesting scenario unfolding for the middle and latter part of next week. There has been lots of inconsistency in the computer forecast models, both the GFS and European model, with respect to this potential unfolding scenario. However, there certainly are signs for a very chilly air mass for this time of the year to move into the Midwest by the middle part of the next week. That cold air mass will spread to the East Coast again by the middle and latter part of next week, and there certainly is the potential for a storm to develop at or near the East Coast with accumulating snow, a possibility in parts of the Mid-Atlantic region in the middle and latter part of next week. Let's take a look at the GFS model run. This is from last night's Zero-Z GFS model run. We'll look at Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night, and then take a look at last night's European model run for the Thursday night time frame of next week. Well, by this time, which is Monday evening forecast map, we have a very strong and cold Canadian high pressure system located here in the south central part of Canada. Strong north to northwest winds pushing colder air farther to the south and east across southeastern Canada into the upper part of the Midwest, the Great Lakes region. Notice this blue line here. This time of the year, it tends to be a kind of a rain snow line to look at. And this is the Monday evening forecast map. This cold high pressure kind of nosing in across the Great Lakes into the northeastern part of the country. Let's now jump ahead 24 hours to Tuesday night. And here's the Tuesday evening forecast map, again, from last night's Zero-Z GFS model run. Notice this blue line dropping farther to the south here, cutting across central Virginia. Lots of precipitation here, some of it in the form of snow on the cold side of that frontal system, which has dropped through the Mid-Atlantic region by this time. Again, this is the Tuesday evening forecast map. Just a very strong high-pressure system for this time of the year, and this whole region will be turning much colder than normal by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. And again, it's important to note that there's quite a bit of precipitation post-frontal this is the Tuesday evening time frame. Let's now jump ahead 24 hours to Wednesday evening. Well, what happens by Wednesday evening, this high continues to kind of dive to the south, but very significantly, part of it is also extending to the north and east, kind of what we term as a banana-shaped high pressure system right in this region right here. We have part of the high dropping to the south, another part of the high extending to the north and east. That is a good setup for bringing colder air into New England and down the northeast coast. And notice all this precipitation right along this blue line, right along the rain-snow boundary. This, again, is the Wednesday evening forecast from the GFS. Now let's jump ahead 24 hours to Thursday evening. Now here's the Thursday evening forecast map. By this time, the GFS has quite a low pressure area just inland or just near the east coast region of the Delmarva Peninsula. In this location here, it would be too warm for snow along the I-95 corridor, but this would bring snow perhaps to the higher elevations of western Pennsylvania, for example. Now here's where the inconsistency has been occurring, exactly where this low will set up. But the point is, at this point, there is certainly appears to be the potential for some kind of a coastal storm to develop. Exactly where that forms, it's still several days away. The interesting thing, however, is that the European model also is suggesting a scenario such as this. In fact, let's now jump ahead and take a look at the Thursday evening forecast map from last night's European model run. And here it is, the Thursday evening forecast map. Quite a healthy looking low pressure area right along the mid-Atlantic coastline come Thursday evening. Again, with that banana shaped high pressure area. One piece of it centered over southeastern Canada, another over the western part of the Great Lakes. This will anchor in the cold air in the northeastern part of the country, this kind of a banana-shaped high-pressure system with that coastal low. An interesting scenario unfolding for the middle and latter part of next week. Of course, we'll monitor all of this at the SIWeather.com over the next several days. That's it for now. For the SIWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.